So, hi everybody and welcome back. This is Unreal Engine 5 tutorial series for absolute beginners. This is video 81, and in this video we continue with our landscape. We want to create in this video landscape material, and we follow a quick start guide, which is this one. And I will link, of course, this site again in the description if you want to follow. And we finished the first free step, which was just creating a landscape a very fast way, and now we are concentrating on creating these landscape materials. And the landscape materials we are not creating from scratch, we are concentrating only on the material, which means we are just connecting these nodes here more or less and trying to understand just these nodes, what they are doing. So that said, let's get started. What we need is some folders. Let's create a landscape folder and with materials, resource, and textures. And I got this already. That's fine. So what you have to do, you create a new folder and call them materials, resource, textures. And like I said, we are not creating these textures here, and I have not any here. That's a bad sign. But what they say is you can get these textures from a sample project, which is on the Epic content, in the learned content, and you can get it and import it and migrate it. But you don't have to. I show you here a way, and this is not the best way because this will not work. That's why it will not work real good. I mean, it looks not real good because it's not the right material. Of course, you can get the right material, or you can even get other good material. For example, you can even get Megascan photogrammetry material, but careful, they have high resolution. High resolution means take long sometimes to render the shaders and so on. That's why I use this standard shaders. And what you can use is the sample example, what they provide here, or just go here, and we have enabled in this project the starter content, and here we have textures we can choose. Important is there are two kind of textures in which we are interested. The one has a D at the end, which means something like diffuse, and is more or less our base color or base texture. And then we have one which is has a N and is our normal texture. And this normal texture here, something like that, is only here to simulate height or depth. Later more about this, but first let's get these textures. So we need here a forest ground normal, then ground grass, and a noise, something like that. Okay, and let's do this. Let's get this textures. So first of all, what we make is create a material, and they call it just landscape material. Let's do this too. We go to our content, you have created it, and then you go to this, in my case, where is that? Here on this, oops, here in landscape. And then I go to materials, and I have already created this material, but I created from scratch a second one. Then we go here to materials, then we name it M underscore, name it what you need. M stands for material, landscape 2, I call it landscape 2. Then we double click on it, we open it up, and what we see here is the basic node where we will all connect. That's a nice thing. Why is this nice? Because we have not to think much. We have just to understand what these connections are, and that's it. So in this connection, you look on the documentation, what they are, what they does, and so on. But actually at the start, we are only interested in this basic color, a little bit about metallic, roughness, and the normal, and all other we are ignoring in this video because we are not using them. So that's good to know. So we have only understand this basic color, little bit this metallic, and what I said. So before we can go on, we need now these textures, and how we get them. It's very, very easy. Let's click this one away. What's that? I don't know. Let's click this one away as well. So we need these textures, and there is a very easy way. First of all, you go to the place where you have your textures. In my case, in the starter content, here's the textures, and I have to find which textures I want. I want the texture grass. Okay, I ran right here on top, selected the texture folder, and then I write grass, and you see now I can select here grass. And interesting is here, and that's very important actually, you need the grass diffuse and the this is ground actually. Yes, ground is similar to grass because they use a grass ground here, and then here this texture ground as well, so they belongs together. Then you can choose another ground, and here is even another ground and so on, and moss or something. I choose now this two, and I choose this one, perhaps. Let's see, grass. I write grass. Let's see what happens. This one is my grass. And okay, now I have this two, and how I can bring them there are different ways actually, but one is also very easy. One is this one. You just undock this one, show it here, and oops, now I have grass. Okay, show it here, and then you select them both and drag and drop them in. That's one way. Of course, there is another way too. You can select this here and then press something like T or so. Let's test it on the other ones, which I'm going to use. Let's soil, I don't know, ground. Let's write ground here. Okay, for the ground I use this one here, or the earth, something like that. And I show you now, I try to show you now the other way. Let's write this, and then right here press T here, and then here. Is this working? I hope. And now I try this one here. T and here. Oops, I made the wrong one. Control Z. So we get one rid of this one. This one was my normal. Why is this doing here? Anyway, I think I skipped this. There is also another way, but let's skip this and use this way here. So I select both. I drag in both, and I need one more. This is snow, but they say we make this in another way. So I dock it here on top, so I have it. Why I have to do this? What is that? Yes, I would do like and go. All right. So we have this one. We save this fast. So, and now we sort this just. Let's see. Let's sort this. Okay, this is my ground, this is my grass, and we need snow. And actually they simulate snow. They have not a snow texture. They will simulate snow. And how they do this is very simple. They use a special node, and it is just a vector node, I think. So you press V and vector, or you just search this node in a regular way. Let's call this snow, which you can do like this. First, right click, write vector, and then we have here some vector parameter. And the problem is here, there are different kind of vectors. Normally you can have vector 2D, vector 3, and in this case it's just 3, the right one. And how you know it, this is the right one, you can see here actually these parameters, and you see there are even 4 because they have also an alpha. All right, that's one thing. Another thing is how to find these texture samples. Let me show this one too. Is you can right click here and write texture, and then you have here this texture sample, but in this case it is empty. Okay, it is not this. They take anyhow anything in, but normally if you write here texture samples and it's nothing selected here, it would be empty. And then you have go to the left side here in the details panel, here in the details, and find what you want. For example, I can change now this one to anything like this one, and you see that would work also. All right, and the last thing, don't forget this one. All what you can use here is in the palette here. It's very long. Yes, a designer have many tools and he can choose here and learn what he needs, but we learn not that much. So we have now this vector. Let's make this vector snow. This vector is one of the easiest way to add a color to create a material. It looks very bad, but you can create it. So this vector represents the three base colors. You can see the base colors actually here. It is red, green, blue, and we have something like a alpha 2 anywhere. And then if you click this one here and go to the right side, let's select this, and here in details panel you have here more options, and one of the easiest option is to find a color. Click here, and now let's make white, for example, for snow. And I think this one is white, or the other way around. This is white. And then if you click this, now we have a white color. And like I said, this is now white, and this one here is the base color. We just connect this one, and we have our first material actually, which looks very bad, but let me show you. And let's learn how to use them. We can actually use this one without anything of that one already to apply on our landscape a white material. And how we are doing this is very easy. First of all, we go back to our select mode. So I'm in my select mode. I select my landscape. Now here in my landscape, I go to the details panel and I scroll down where it says landscape material, or you just type it in and find it easy. So, and in landscape material you find now you created material. In my case it was something M for landscape 2. It is this one, and now it is applying. That takes a while, and you see I have all white. We created a material. The problem is this one looks not good. Actually, let's play this, and you see it looks plain. Plain means no depth, right? So when we watch this, no, there is no depth, and the reason for that is actually this node here, this normal. We have here not a normal. Normal means it simulates height and depths, and which means we need to create a normal, because this was not coming with a texture, or we just borrow a normal. In this case, I just duplicate this node and, or let's say copy and paste it here. Control C, Control V. Now I have duplicated this code more or less. You see this one, and I say you should use this white snow. You should the same normal as here. This is not the best solution. This is just for demonstration. You should find a better normal which fits the snow texture. But for this demonstration, perfect. I just take this one and I go to the normal. And now we have, I hope we have something better. You can already see this looks a little bit better, right? And let's compile, let's save, and then let's look this one on our map. Okay, my fix. Okay, and now you see this looks still bad. It's not very good. So when I play this one, okay, I can't even see it because this is not a very good example, because I need more heights, for example, higher and lower, and I need also a little bit more scaling. So this one, that it's bigger and so. And later more about it. This was just the beginning. So we started actually with these two nodes, and you see this will not work out. We have find a better solution. This is the first thing what I learned to create a material, and yes, it is at the absolute minimum, and we need a better solution. So how we make this? Let's put it back here and let's follow our instructions from the landscape material. So they say also you start here, but they say you start with a special node, and this node is this landscape chords. Let's find this. Careful, this landscape chords is, we have to find this right one. We write here landscape. this is good. But when we try to find landscape chords, there is something like landscape layer chord. So this one we need, landscape layer chords. And when you click on this landscape layer chords, and now you have to read a little bit the tooltip, what this does and so on. And actually this one is later a way to manipulate all your textures, all your normals and so on. And how is this chords manipulating that? And here in details panel you can see here some settings. This one is mapping. We will talk not much about this now. More important is this mapping scaling. Why is this so important? This scaling means I can make the texture, I scale the texture. And here very important info for non-designer like me, which I have learned very late. This UV, actually you have to know what UV means, and this UV means just coordinates, which is just another way to describe X and Y. The reason why they don't use here X and Y is X, Y, and Z is reserved for 3D, and for 2D they use UV, which means U for X, V for Y. So if you read anything with UV, it is just a texture it is just a 2D space, and U for X and V for Y. So that's very important to note here, because with this information we know now what this mapping pen U or U is. This is X mapping and this is Y mapping, and constant UV type we know now this anyhow too. So anything for X, Y type and so on, but not special. Of course we have to read this one. Okay, now we are smarter. And what we are doing with this one is actually nothing at start. We are just connecting them. So let's connect them. And we are connecting them actually here again to this UV point. And I said this UV means just X, Y. So you have to think just X and Y, because they don't like, let's connect them. That's it. There is nothing much. And the other nodes here you have to read because they are not mentioned and I don't know them. Let's continue. So I connect them. And yes, for the snow I need one too. And like I said, I try to use now this one. This now looks like more depth. Let's try copy this one again. Also Control C, Control V here on down, and I connect them. This for the snow. So with that said, we are good to go. And let's see what we have to do. So let's see. All right, they create some more things. So this kind of stuff we already did. And now they create something like a constant. They create something like I think this one is a scalar, and they create something like a add. So let's do, first of all, we create a constant. A constant is just one float value. It is just a number. And how we create this constant? When you press 1 and left click, then it pops up. Actually, there are different kind of constants. For example, if I press 2 and left click, now I have a constant with 2 values. For example, this one was the 1 value. You can see here on the right side in details, I can select 1 value for this one. When I click on this one here, you can see now I can select 2 values for this one. And if I click 3, I would make even a constant with 3 values. And you see, you can even create a color with 3 constant values. All right, that's also very nice to know. And they want only 1 value, and they need this one just to deactivate one of these nodes, and they want to deactivate this metallic, because when we watch here on the screen, this shiny metallic looks comes also from metallic. There are other things too. For example, emissive. It's also very shiny, but we are not even using this. But this metallic, it's yeah, like the word it says, it looks metallic, a little bit shiny and so on. They don't want that. That's why they use this 0. And if you connect this one with 0, this will be more or less deactivated. And yeah, we will see this later anyhow, I hope. Okay, we have this one and metallic node. Okay, now we create a roughness node. We want to change this roughness here, and the roughness is like the word says, anyhow, it's manipulating the roughness. And this time they create a scala, and the scala, I think you can press S and left click, but of course you can create all this what I create here also with let's see, with this right click and then just find, for example, scalar, and then you find something like a scalar parameter. You have to choose this one here, because then you need to know exactly the name, and here a constant parameter. Let's see if I find this one here. This one I don't need. This is just to expand and see the color or something like that. And here constant, and if you write here constant, and the important is here this constant, and constant q vector was this 3 and constant 3 vector, and then we have a constant 4 vector. So this 1, 2, 3, 4 are actually represented here, so you know this 1, 2 now. A little bit notes, and then we are almost finished. No, there is one add node, and add node, I don't know how this works as well, so in detail just find the add node when we add here these two together. All right, let's do this one, add, and I just add, and yes, and it says here adds add node here, very descriptive. So, and let's see how we should add this one. I added wrong. I have to add it from here to here, and they are together now. All right, this is our setup so far. And yeah, let's continue and see what we can do as non very good designer. Okay, we continue. We are almost finished, and now we go to the point where we need to use them together anyhow. And what they mean to use them together is actually we want paint on our landscape, and to be able to painting on our landscape we need a system which is called blending. So I can use for example this ground color for the bottom, and then on the bottom I can add this grass, and then on the hills of the mountains I can add, for example, the snow. And to do this they use this blend node, and this is called a layer landscape layer blend. Actually this one it is called, and let's find this. Let's do this landscape, and when we write landscape it pops up many things here, and we are interested in only landscape layer blend in this case. And you see now we see nothing. That's why we have to go to the details panel, and in details panel we go to layers and we add layers. Layers are these things what we want to add, and actually they are not only 3 here, we want to add this one too. And there's a special way to add this, and there's one you have to read this a little bit more in detail later, because this one is the end result, and to explain that here is not the best case. So let's continue a little bit. Let's create these layers first. How we create it, we just press here plus plus plus. This is my first layer because I have here 3 here this 3, and I make another layer for this one. So which other words, I find again landscape layer, and again this blend I want landscape layer blend, and it starts again with 0 and again 3 times plus plus plus. I have 3 layers for them. So this one set up, we have to fill this now, and here are list how we can fill this, and for the other ones too. And interesting is here this table here on, okay, this description actually here on top, there is a blend layer, a weight blend, and there is a height blend, and there is also, I think there's one more blend. It's not described here. It was, okay, there's again a alpha blend, I think. There is one more blend, which is an alpha blend. So, and these are very important for us. And yeah, we will fill out now this. I will fill out this now offline, and then I will connect this one in the next video and just explain it. So that's why I stopped this video here. And yeah, and we continue in the next video with this thing here. And I just explain it, and then we go just to the painting, which means we are just using this one. Because to set up this one from this side, you can do it, I think. It's not a big deal, and I have not to waste your time. So that said, if you have any questions again or complaints, just write in the comments. If not, we see us in the next video, and bye.